All right, we're back, and we're back to talk Lions. And so, if you don't know who else is with us, that's Steve Miknis. He is our resident NBA expert, and we got a couple videos out about the NBA. And he's like, "I want to talk Lions." He's a
That's
Detroit
right.
guy that knows about the Lions. We're all excited about the Lions, so we have got a mailbag questions that you guys have asked us, stuff that I'm thinking about. So I'm going to go back and forth with Craig and Steve and really try to get a new perspective, because it's usually just Craig and I, but we got another guy that we can give us some new perspective. So I'll start with you, Steve. The Lions, right? Are we excited? Are you excited? Or is Craig and I a little too Kool-Aid out right now, because we're really excited on the trajectory of where we're going? Is that where you're at as well? Or is this something where you'll have to wait and see?
So, pretty positive guy, as we've established. Obviously, again, thanks for having me here. This is great. I'm going to be the one to let you pump the brakes a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Not a slappy, a realist. Great.
All right,
Thanks.
appreciate this. Hit us with it.
I'm
That's
not
the
going
end.
to. I'm not gonna fluff this up by any means. I think it's kind of. I do want to see. You're gonna have to prove it to me. You're gonna. The beauty of the NFL is it's put up or shut up. Like there's no in between, man. You got to bring it week in, week out. Yes, I like where they're heading, but I'm one day at a time. One day at a time, for sure.
Okay, Craig.
Yeah. You
no,
know where
Craig.
I'm going.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to you next here on this one. And then Steve, you answer this one as well. Another question that we get, and try to make this as concise as possible. It's because it's going to be very difficult to.
It's concise for me is like 2 minutes, but I'll be faster.
Jared Goff. End of the day, we've talked a lot about him. Are you happy he's our quarterback, or are you looking forward to getting someone else possibly next year?
Can it be both?
Yeah.
Both. And here's the thing. I am happy he's our quarterback. I thought he was a good replacement, not to fill in what Stafford was doing, but when you get 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, I think also getting Goff was good. So I'm happy he's our quarterback. I'll pump the brakes on Jared Goff for a second. Jury's still out on him because I know traditionally he's been good when he has talent around him. I just have to see this year if it's still Mr. Turnover. Because he's had a lot of dumb mistakes, fumbles, not as many interceptions, but fumbles, things like that. That it's just like, what are we doing? So, but for me, it's a win-win because if he plays great, I'm happy he's the quarterback. If he plays like crap, we have another high draft pick and a ton of capital to move up and get our quarterback of the future.
Perfect. Steve, thoughts on him?
I'm good on him right now. I think the good thing with the drafting and the free agencies and those things, I think that I don't want to say holes, but plugging holes essentially in the right spots. We do need to prove that we can protect whoever QB1 is. I think that's going in the right direction as well.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'll agree with Craig, man. It's 100% decision making. I think it's moving the offense down the field, doing things the right way, not taking quantified risks at that point. I love a good headsy quarterback. That was one thing that I don't want to throw Stafford's name on here too early, but you loved about him is he took the risk when we needed to, but I also thought he was headsy enough that he's always thinking the game, and I think, Goff's come from a great system anyway. And, he's definitely a really good quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback.
He's an NFL quarterback.
If we've got an NFL quarterback on the field, so be it. That's probably the least of our problems. And then when it becomes one of our biggest problems, then you can address it. So right now, totally good with it.
Yeah, love it. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 players. These 2 players, they're injured. They don't actually do what we think they do. And so I want you to just tell me your thoughts on these 2 guys, Swift and Hockenson. They're both been here a while, kind of need you guys. Are you going to do anything? Where are you at with them? Craig, I'll start with you. Love them, hate them, don't know.
I like them. And I think both of them are quality players. I don't know if they're Pro Bowl caliber players. I think it's just jury's out on Swift for me still. Give me one healthy year. That's all I'm saying. And quite frankly, same with Hockenson.
Yes.
So I think when they're healthy, they've been extremely productive and at times even better than productive. Like they've been special at times. And when they're hurt or kind of hurt, and I understand everybody's playing with injuries in the NFL, but these guys have been injury prone. So if injury is a skill, and I firmly believe that it is, they're not doing well in that skill. But the other skills have it. When you look at Swift, he can do everything. I mean, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run outside the tackles. Jury's still out on if he can run inside the tackles. He goes down pretty easy on that. And same with Hockenson. As far as a pass catcher, he's very good and a good route runner, things like that. Jury's out a little bit on the blocking side of things, but health, that's where it's at. I love them if they're healthy.
Yep. Steve?
Love them both, 100%. I think that one thing about Hockenson is I think he's getting to the point now where he can, again, take that next step. I think he's, you can lean on pretty heavily, from a blocking standpoint, and, keep him in motion, put him on a few cut blocks, get him sitting in that 5-yard out, catch the ball, throw it to him in the red zone. Love it. Mm-hmm. Swift, on the other hand, love him, but I'm 100% on Craig's page. I need him to be the stud that he is because he's there. I mean, they're both great tackle football players. Go be that.
That's right.
And it's there. So, why would I not like that? It'd be different if, we're giving this guy the ball too many times. I don't really know if he's any good. These dudes are good. Get him the ball, be good. So, 100% for sure in.
Love it. And next one would be Dan Cambell. Last year, took a lot of risk, went for it, trick plays. Some of my insides say, well, that's because we were 1-11. Who gives a crap? Part of me thinks that's what he's going to do. I'll start with you on this one, Steve. Do you I've been thinking that's kind of the new age of football. Do you think the analytics are pushing us more and more? Don't punt. I mean, why would you give the ball back type of thing? Do you like that? And do you think Dan Cambell will keep that up? Or is it, hey, we sucked last year and we were just doing crap? What do you think with Dan Cambell? What will he do going forward?
What will he do? I don't know. Do I love the way he handled the situation? Yes. I think the beauty of, football can get very archaic when it comes to, there's the people who are the teams that are successful are the ones that are progressive, forward-thinking type teams, being creative, trying, whether that's trying to find it within the rules. Don't get me started on the rules because this video will go for 2 hours. But
we got a little preview of that.
Just the small nuances of the game, and obviously he understands the game. He knows it. You're going to have those type of guys. But I'm on board with it. I got no problem with it.
Cool.
All right. I'm a little more old school on this. I don't like my NFL team to resemble a Madden team. And what I mean by that is, even when I was nerding out and doing a Madden league, we put in rules like you can't go for it if it's more than 4th and 5 and you're on the other side of the 50. Because we wanted to keep it realistic. I think for what we were as a team last year, loved it. The Rams game, throw the kitchen sink at them, and then the cupboards and the cabinets and the oven. I loved that because that's what our team was. As the team gets better, I get what analytics say. I also know that kicking the extra point usually works really well, and punting on 4th and whatever, and trusting your defense. But when you have no defense, like we had no defense last year, yeah, I'd go for it. So I liked it last year. I don't know if I love it going forward, and I think he will calm it down just a little.
And I'll jump in on that too. I think one thing about it is definitely show us you're good at that type A ball that we need before you throw in that organized chaos there too. Yeah.
Yes. Good point. Last question for both of you is Sheila. Looks like we've got an owner that semi gets it. we're going top to bottom here.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
Actually, bottom to top, but
yeah, bottom to top. An owner that, in my eyes, another Kool-Aid check for us, Steve. It's like you got to have that owner, right? It starts with the owner, and you have to find that owner that can just get what's going on. Looks like Sheila gets that. She's hired Brad Holmes, Dan Cambell. They didn't know each other going into this. I thought the GM would hire the coach. The whole thing looked really weird. It looks like it's all working. When you look at, I'll start with you, Steve. When you look at the organization, top to bottom, you can start with Sheila. You can take this in a lot of different directions. Are you as positive on this as we are? Do you love the hires when it comes to Sheila, Brad Holmes, and Dan? Is there something we're missing? You're in coaching. We're really excited about this. Should we be? Or is there something we're missing?
No, 100%. I think it's a little bit of a shakeup, but I've always been a huge fan of kind of trying to find this dynamic of the top-down effect. The beauty of it is not that previous owners were micromanaging, it's more, or even having an expectation to begin with.
Right.
But I think when you get the type of people in the room or in the building and organization that want to be successful, that have had success, but also bring a new look, and you let them do their thing, that's totally worth the risk. Like whether it's coaching, even if it's you bring in a special teams type guy who takes certain risks. Okay. Yeah. Like, we talked about, like, I don't know everything about everything. So, but if I'm going to be really good at my one thing and I go to that next person and say, hey, I think we should do this. If the buck stops there, then so be it. But when we take those type of risks and you go from that top down effect, I put everything on like how the Warriors' success has been in basketball recently. Like, they've blown it out of the water. They're light years ahead of the game. They got young guys. They're paying the extra luxury tax, XYZ, but so on. But they've done things, and you're talking about a team that was the bottom dwellers of the NBA previously. And whether that's the blueprint for what the Lions should do, any type of professional organization. So in short, yes, if you're just asking if I like it, love it, but the dynamic's perfect. Let people do their thing, shake it up, give me something new. If we throw it at the wall and it sticks, let's go.
Awesome. Craig?
Yeah, I think starting with Sheila, first off, changing her name, getting rid of the Ford, just doing the hemp, like that's a solid move, just because of ownership fatigue in the past. But here's when I realized maybe Sheila's doing things differently. There was two moments. One, it was bringing on Spielman and even Barry Sanders. The Barry Sanders thing, I think, was more just the let's make the fans happy. But yeah, Spielman's definitely working in there. And he was a huge part of hiring football guys. And he's a football guy, but humble enough to know that it wasn't his job to have. So he was going to find the GM. And when they interviewed Brad Holmes afterward, and he was like, ooh, after he had the interview with the Lions organization and ownership, he was like, that was different than I expected, because you expect it to be garbage when it's been the Lions in the past. And so everybody was just kind of blown away by how they ran the interview process. That was the start. Then I think they hired the first right guy with Campbell and Holmes, and here we go. And I think the drafts are kind of starting to prove it. And I think the buy-in from the players is starting to prove that they think that the coach knows what he's doing. And when you have players that are bought in, even if the coach pretty much knows what he's doing, you're going to get a much better result. So I'm happy about the crew, but we all knew that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Steve validated that, because we've been excited about this crew. So hope you've enjoyed this video. We just wanted to rapid fire round the Detroit Lions with our special guest, Steve, and let us know in the comments your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see all of you on the next one.
See ya.